I don't trust you. And I don't
You're on a shit list. Congratulations.
Awesome.
I like grape flavored.
I like them.
I don't understand how somebody thought grape flavor tasted like grape.
Nerds are the candy, one of the
That
only
one-
candies that you can actually.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
100% not what
It's
grape
not.
tastes like.
No.
Tastes like purple. That's what that tastes like.
Nerds. Hi.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh. Hi. Sorry.
Pixie sticks. 4.
So
Pick sticks.
Vanessa made me this.
What are candies that you pour into your mouth?
Pixie sticks, dick pics.
Remember
Any,
those?
really any candy.
I know. Remember the ones that sparkle? The
Pop
Rocks.
And also
Pixie
those
sticks, dick
long.
pics, and Pop
remember
Rocks.
those long?
That's the name of my autobiography,
Pixie
actually. That's the Hunter
That's what we're
Roberts
talking
story.
about.
Whatever.
What's another
We
kind
didn't
of
call
candy
them
that you pour into your
pixie
mouth?
sticks in
All of them, really. If you're
Good.
dedicated enough
You
to
could.
candy.
It's true.
True that.
If you commit.
Dip it into stuff, but every kid's poured it in their mouth.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Hey, Megan.
No, just candy talk.
We're happy to answer any candy-related questions you have.
That's it. We will only be
Any
answering
candy
candy
questions you
questions.
got,
Or dick pics.
Or dick pics. Dick pic questions, candy questions. We're here
Or
for
if you
it.
just want dick pics, too.
He's your man.
I got my cell phone right here.
Exactly. What he means is he'll take pictures of for
Give him
you.
your cell
Yeah.
number. He'll text it to you.
He can get the lighting just right.
That's right.
There you go.
Did you actually succeed? You did. If I hadn't been paying attention, I wouldn't have noticed.
Oh, that's a good.
That's a
good,
that's a
meme
Hager
move.
move.
But I do it subconsciously.
I think you guys are. What do you guys need from us?
I'll go first.
Yeah. it was-
I'll volunteer. Okay. So, hi, my name is Amber. I'm from Variety Radio Online. I have a very high standard for series finales. Thank you, 6 Feet Under.
Okay.
Yes,
And
thank you, 6
I
Feet
thought you guys did it perfect. It's right up there with it. Actually, a show ended the other day, and I was like, True Blood, when True Blood ended, sorry. And I was like, Being Human and 6 Feet Under really set the par as far as series finales go.
Thank
What
you.
happened
Yeah.
in True Blood? Why is everyone saying?
Yeah, you're the second person today.
It was
Never mind.
It was one of those.
He became a lumberjack.
They rushed it.
Yeah.
They rushed it, the ending, and so it was just like, let's make everybody happy, like really instantly.
Huh.
When the whole season kind of wasn't like that, but anyways. So I just wanted to know how much the 4 of you were involved in the series finale itself.
Well,
As
we
far
were
as,
in it.
as far as, but as far as like the story goes,
were there.
yeah.
We were all 4 years. We were all in it.
No, but in all honesty, I feel like we had a big say with the kids.
Yeah.
Like specifically.
Well, I remember, like honestly, it was even from like season 2 we got married. 2 we got married.
End of no, three.
0? Are you
Is that
saying
what
0?
Cat was
Three.
at your
You're saying
wedding?
3.
You were already
I-
you were already
I
married.
There.
promise it was 3.
No, we entered
No.
into season 3.
Cat was at your
It
wedding.
was season 3. God.
Cat was in season 3.
Yeah, you
guys
married in
remember?
season
It was 3.
We did. It was season 3, episode like 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, you proposed in 8.
Because Sally was
And
all
then nine.
zombie.
Julia was season 2.
Cat
She
was there,
3.
bro.
It was 3. There.
You did.
We're, yeah,
I hit
I
it.
watched.
There it is.
Yeah, she watched it.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
right.
Yeah.
It was 3.
So you're welcome.
Oh, so that answer your question? I nurse. I'm drunk on nurse. No, but I think whatever. Whenever it was, I always wanted, just speaking personally, Josh and Nora to have the kind of ride off into the sunset ending. I thought that's what they really wanted, and so that's what they deserve. I always wanted. Once again, personally, and I think I speak for most of us, if not all of us, when I say that I always wanted what this is
Never.
terrifying.
I would never. I already did.
What the character really wanted, you know. And his was to, I think, move on and have an afterlife, which is
have some sort of redemption. for
some
the
sort of
awful
redemption,
stuff that he's done.
and her to just, finally find a man. I mean, that's your whole story, right? I'm not like condensing.
Yeah, just like looking for
I'm not
a man.
oversimplifying that, am
Oh,
I?
I need a man.
Was that came out kind of misogynistic, didn't it? No, but I don't know. I think they listened to us, right?
Well, there.
It's like
was
he's
it-
a vampire, he's a werewolf, she's a werewolf. I just want a man.
Yeah,
She wants
a
a man.
guy.
She-
Needs a guy.
That's your introduction.
A vampire, 2 werewolves, and a strong single mother of 3. So the thing was is that
It's a show.
the characters have been beaten beaten up, beat up,
Beaten up.
beaten up. They've been beat up for
Beaten path.
like 4 seasons, and every opportunity the writers had to make these people suffer, they took them. And I think we were all on the same page that they deserved a happy ending after all that suffering. And I remember saying to Anna, I'm like, I have this weird thought of one door with Sally and Aiden in front of it. And she goes, okay, we don't know what that means yet either, but we've had exactly the same thought since early on. So
pretty
yeah,
much you decided.
Yeah.
So it was me.
So, thank you.
But in terms of the happy ending, these two were basically the ones that had the best shot at it. Sally and Aiden were more in trouble.
Right.
So
No.
How did that whole process work? Like you're doing the season, and then you get the word that you're not getting another season.
we got it before the season.
Okay.
Well,
It wasn't
for
for
sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we keep, I mean, maybe it was for some of you, but personally, I didn't know
Me
that it
neither.
was
The way,
100%.
the
I didn't
way
know until you
Anna
guys-
pitched the last season to us before we started shooting was that we are writing to an end. That's what we knew. We
Yep.
were closing it up.
Yep.
But we didn't get the official word until a couple days before it was
we
released
also
to the
didn't
press.
know if we were going to film an alternative ending as a just in case.
I always thought that
Like,
that would have been a
I
good
didn't-
option.
The funny thing is that I remember talking to people before we even shot the season, and they were like, look, we're thinking about, because there's a whole thing that we really can't share, but they were going to like renew for
2
say
seasons.
they
Either
were new for two. They were
possibly we're going to shoot 26.
It wasn't, but it wasn't a possibility. This was set in stone for a second.
Right.
And we were going to do seasons 4 and 5 and shoot it back to back, and then close it out after
Yeah.
season 5. And some weird stuff happened behind the scenes, but that was what Syfy wanted to do. They wanted to do 2 of them, and some weird stuff happened behind the scenes that wasn't Syfy's fault, and then they had to jump in and jimmy some stuff. And the way they jimmied it, basically our budget went down. When our budget went down, basically Anna and the producers and everyone got together, and I remember being at least asked about this, and everyone felt that like, look, we'd rather make a good show than a bad show, and if we tried for a season 5, we could lose some big key players on our set, big crew members who wouldn't want to. There were people that made a few sacrifices to do season 4, and we would lose some of those people. And we didn't have the confidence that we could make a good season 5. But a season 4, we had a lot of confidence in. So Anna and them said, listen, we'd like to write to an end. Syfy said yes, but then they wouldn't commit to it. I remember hearing from Anna, like, well, look, it's our intention to end the show. We can't control what Syfy does.
Right.
And then Syfy thankfully backed us up. I know that they were hedging their bets because our ratings were really good in season 4.
Right.
Which I guess they're responsible to do. That's
Yeah, I mean,
their job.
that's kind of what I think.
That's their job.
Well, no, not only that, but like that's what I was always. The hope was, listen, we have this really great little tidy ending where everyone gets what they want, and it really like it ends.
Yeah.
So to come back from it would have been kind of catastrophic.
Very weird.
And weird and forced.
Exactly.
But. Like the official word, because even like people were telling me like into when we were airing, well, you never know, like they could always bring it back, they can always do, there's a lot, it's a supernatural show.
There's also a regime change that happened around the time that that happened. So there is
Right,
some
that's
thought.
a really good point.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We were a child of the old regime. The new regime was coming in, and we were already queued up to end because
Right.
we'd written and
Right.
shot the show ending.
That's right, I forgot.
So that basically when the new regime happened, I knew for certain.
yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, if you want to put your shows on and
Right.
phase out the old shows,
Right.
our show is asking for it.
Totally, yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff like that going on. I think if the old regime had stayed around, because there was, interestingly enough, Dingus came up with a pitch for what
Right.
season 5 could be,
Right.
and it had to do with a sort of a reboot of our show, because we didn't have any interest in bringing back these characters as these characters. And be like, oh, just kidding. I got redemption and went to heaven. Just kidding.
Right.
You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm glad you're
What
saying
was the
because
bit?
like
I don't
leaving.
know what his reboot was. If
I-
we're at liberty to say.
I didn't hear too many of the specifics other than the fact that like everyone would be a version of their character, but it would be
Right.
different.
I
It would be
love
totally
that.
different.
I like
Yeah.
that too.
Good.
Yeah, that's the only. That's
not
the
too
only
late.
way. That's the only way you could
Not
do
too
it.
late.
It's not too late.
And there was some thought that reboot might also build off of Sally's whole storyline where when she went to an alternate.
Right.
Yeah, if you remember in that episode, when Donna's about to send her back to the present, there were all these different versions
This
of
is
Sally
awesome.
all
This is cool.
existing at the
Oh,
same
yeah, I
time.
loved that.
And the one that if you watch it carefully,
Watch the show carefully.
The one that we chose to go back to the present with isn't the same one that went to the future. So the idea, that went to the alternate reality originally. So the idea, if we did have to reboot the show, is that we would
Sally.
follow one of the multiple
That's cool.
Sallys.
Yeah, the
which is
original,
really
the
cool.
one. It was interesting that you guys did that. Basically, at that point, if Syfy decided to pull the trigger, we had to do something just in case. So yeah, they actually picked the wrong Sally to go back.
It's so funny.
That was Stefan, I think.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Steve-O.
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 Yeah.
Steven.
Steven.
Steve.
Yeah.
Shit, have I been
Stephanie.
calling him Stefan this whole time?
Yeah, you're super pretentious.
Oh god, I'm just really like Michelle.
Us,
It's Michael.
It's Jim. I don't know
Michael.
what
Yeah,
that's.
exactly. My name is James. Yeah.